The short term goal and here's the just give very good stuff.
we've got the light choir. They're going to come up and entertain us, but before they start, they're also going to lead us into prayer. And that what makes us unique as Durban, South Africans. It's our rhythm and beats, it's our music, and it's the way we present it that none other in the world. Give me another round of applause. It didn't take too many to put up us, however, they sure did come out the room. Thank you. All protocol observed, and we do acknowledge all VIP guests that we have this evening. Thank you for making the time being here with us. We'd like to welcome on stage ICC, Mrs. Claire Dakari. She's the CEO of the Durban ICC. She's still here. Yes, she's here. Can we get some music for her? Come on. Let's give her a nice round. Can you make some noise?
but I think it's fitting for me that I'm brother Eric asked me to do the work. Thank you.
Thank you, Lydia. But just to say, we're in your house, Lydia, so this is your house, this whole precinct here. But just to say, good evening, everybody, and calling your education. Especially, thank you for calling your education. Tonight, I'm sure, I'm not the mayor this time, right? I wrote this, but I'm sure the mayor wouldn't object to me saying, on behalf of the people of our city, and even him, right? And it is our city. Tonight, I just like to say a special tribute to Martina Schlofi. When we speak about celebrating the spirit of light, Tina does that. Breathing through energy, through a commitment to storytelling, and to getting books into the minds of young and old. And in our country and our city today, a lot of people are feeling like they're in very dark places. Excuse the pun. Esther is contributing to it. And when you're in the presence of Dana, you even forget about load shedding. What's interesting about Dana, she can even tell you a story at a festival under the tree with no lights. Her voice is strong enough to give you, and I think tonight we're celebrating a festival, the spirit of light. And Dana, you personalize that. I know it sounds like being Catholic, it sounds quite spiritual. And I'm convinced you are a spiritual being. And I'm also convinced that even our ancestors, like when you look at me, I look who I am, right? But on my father's side, I'm not Zulu and not Swedish. And on my mother's side, I'm not Zulu and not English. They say you mix all that up, you get Ethiopian from Ethiopia. And because wherever I go in Ethiopia, Somalia, I think I need to go in and from there. Right? So I think that's responsible for international relations. We should invite the citizens around the world together. And we need to all support that festival of storytelling. I would say international storytelling festival under the tree beside the city. So it's always taught us to go to church. We can do. But when things were really difficult in the house, and we were at school, my mother used to go to the local sangoma and buy a paper and burn it in the house to get rid of the things that are stopping us from living. I was also very confused because my mother told us the children want to do some wrong things, must only go to church, listen to the priest, So I was also a bit confused now as to why she's going to Sangoma and talking to the ancestors, but insisting that she still didn't give us a hiding to go to church. But then when I grew up, I understood that God also talks to the ancestors. And I am convinced that all our ancestors, regardless of who they are happy with him. They've given Tina she's going to place guarantee with them. They'll take care of her when she's no longer with us. But the stories will live with us. So, Tina, on behalf of the city and all of us here this evening, welcome everybody, and we keep shining, keep being the spirit of light in our city. Thank you very much and enjoy the evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Green. I'm going to call our brother of the moment, Martina, to come and tell you the history about why we celebrate the spirit of light. And that she makes a way, I'm also going to tell you that last week she made radio history. Her storytelling is now on the podcast, and it is flying. The downloads are flying on East Coast Radio. It's in English and in Zulu. You have to go and download her podcast for your children and for you. You ready? How are we going to welcome you?
And even visiting with gratitude, that's me. Without that gratitude, you can't be happy in this world. We've got so many reasons to be unhappy, so many reasons to moan and complain and judge and criticize and point fingers. But once you live on wisdom and gratitude, happiness is always there. Money more. I am so grateful that we can say why we do the Spirit of Light. All these years, people have been attending the Spirit of Light, and the people say, these new age churches, what is she doing now? She's starting these weird churches. Is she a pastor? I gave the pastor. We started the Spirit of Light all those years ago in order to celebrate people who do positive things in society, to shine a spirit of light in our country, even in the worst of times, to bring hope when you're not sure what's going on in your life, when problems find you at rest and they park on the veranda. But we, Hosanna, and they call other problems. That's why we started the Spirit of Light. We started calling a few people to join us. More and more. There are people who are regulars at the Spirit of Light who are attending every year. I'm so grateful that there are those regulars who love the Spirit of Light. Tandanam, I'm glad you're here. He's the conductor of the Red Light Choir. Come on. So we've had this amazing choir. Be the light.
when we sat with the board members and we said, what about having a choir at the Spirit of Light? There's something about Southern Africa and the way we love to sing. There's something about Southern Africa. Even in our churches, we love to sing. That is what brings us closer to the Almighty God, to the Creator. When we are in this beautiful place, where we feel welcome at the ICC Durban, at the convention center, see Bonga again and again and again, because the Spirit of Light has been welcomed here since it started. We've been to different venues and again we keep coming back to this place where we are welcome. There's something amazing when people know how to welcome light. We also celebrate the Spirit of Light in order to let people know about each other's achievements. To let people know that it's not all doom and gloom. Right now, the talk of the town is ESCOM this and ESCOM that. We're not ESCOMing here tonight. We're celebrating. We're celebrating here tonight. You heard the resounding drums. They're like the heartbeat of the African sons and daughters. You heard the choir singing. You heard the people. You start a song. My people rise up and sing. That's the Spirit of Light. And when we started the Spirit of Light, also we've had ministers of religion coming from different churches, coming to open. One time we had 8 ministers. It was amazing to see the different people came from Islam, somebody came from Buddhism, somebody else came from Romania. We had Bishop, we had Methodist Church, we've had different ministers coming, Bishop and open for us. So we've had different Bishop, and we've had all these ministers coming to talk to us, and I say to them, everybody knows that page in their book of praise that mentions light. If you don't know the page that mentions light, I don't know what you are doing in your church, because that is the beginning, and it will be our end too. So, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight. I'd like to also to say the team here at Gcinamasiko and as staff as we are, I'm so grateful that you keep on running and running and running. Because sometimes it's easy to say, she can't do anything on her own. She does it with a team. And I'm grateful with people who work with us, who do so many things. Some people are not even full-time at Gcinamasiko, but they are the friends of Gcinamasiko. And I'm honored about that. East Coast Lady, we're still going to be on the journey, young lady. We're going to be on the journey with East Coast Lady now, 2023, by the time we reach October, that's when we will speak about it, because the Northern Church Storytelling Festival is coming again in October. And people are coming, narrators coming from Chile, South America. I'm so amazed, which is coming. We've got Singapore coming, we've got USA coming, we've got Canada coming, we've got Uganda coming, we are doing this thing because the stories of our people, they remind us of the Creator God who gave us the languages we speak, the ability to share, because we must keep on telling our stories to remind each other. And some stories have to be retold, because the story repeated is the story we remember. That's a fact. Later on, I'm just grateful that we've got people coming from different parts of the country to celebrate the Spirit of Light here tonight, and we shall hear from our speakers. All our special guests, see, thank you for being with us. And yes, thank you, Jesha. Thank you so much.
Thank you. If there's anything we could leave today and learn from Martina, it's her humility to stay grounded. Because for I think the president should be here to listen to her and see and watch the things she does. And even when the president's not here, God speaks to all of us as if we are the highest dignitaries around the world that sit here. Thank you for your respect, Mom. We've got a speaker, Dr. Stella Kamalo from DCAC, but she's not here today. And representing and who will give the word of support on behalf of Dr. Stella Kamalo is Miss Gcinamasiko.
Ngithanda ukubingelela umuntu okhona ngaphakathi, ngibingelele umamgcina vibrant, mhlophe, very bright, vibrant mother of ours. Ngibingelele umama uThembi Ali Jones okhona ngaphakathi. Ngingashiwo balulekile okhona la ngaphakathi, mangabizanga igama ngithi uzokhona ukubusela. I-department sinominister ukushintsha nokungamashiwo, uminister Sizikodwa. Ngizwe izolo ukuthi uZikodwa Dlamini, so akusidlamini ngoba uDlamini kodwa sesifundo sakhe. We welcome him, our honorable minister, and also we are very grateful. I didn't prepare a speech, but there's no speech when you are talking about issues of light and issues of life. I'm always grateful to wake up in the morning. I'm very grateful. My name is Gcinamasiko. You must welcome to our charity church. Also spirituality line. Namhlanje bathi uzobahlonipha abantu abadala uzohamba ngeenyawo ulandele usiko lwakho. Siyabonga kakhulu, ngizothanda ukubonga mama ukuthi sibe khona la. Ngicela nami ungibale every year akhona I'm coming, whether I lose my own budget, I will definitely come to celebrate because life is very important. We are going through a lot of situations. Siyakumbusha amaXhosa asho. There's a lot that is happening in our lives as young people, maybe uthandazo yiwo okhona overcoming inkinga. Mhlophe nokusikhumbuza i-important ukuphila nezinto ozi-achievile as the creatives. We are playing a very big role. There is a program in the department that we are doing. I'm also a champion for it. There is also a champion which is women in the creative industry, the challenges that they are going through, and we are hearing from them, the engagement sessions like this, we are to hear better than money proposal, siwafunde, siwabekelele engage nomuntu uzokuthi inkinga inguphi la ixazululeka kakhulu. Sizatha ukushiya inkonzo namhlanje ngale-quote yakuJohn 8 verse 12 lapho uJesu khona athi, when Jesus spoke, will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. That is why we are here, to listen to the light of life. I thank you.
Thank you. And our next speaker is Belinda Crawford. Belinda Crawford.
So much for putting
And all protocols observed, it's sort of difficult to relate the story, but I think the point enough of it just get like. My name is Elizabeth Crawford. I was born here in Durban. Obviously, I was born in however, I was born in the mid-70s. We're not aware of our historical history, where interracial relations were not allowed. And my dad is not black with an Irish descent. One of the Crawfords are the settlers, the Irish settlers in the country. So I think 2 or 3 generations back, my great-grandfather was one of those that fought in the war and became well-renowned soldiers and settled here in Durban. So with that being said, I was raised by neither mom or dad. I grew up in an institute, as we all well we can tell the story and get to this part of the story. I'm cautious because I am reminded of the words of a professor in the university where I work in Gcinamasiko, where he said that it isn't about your story, and not isn't about who specific. There's always something there. So with those words, I at first hand, I felt as if it was sarcastic because I was in my way. And then later on, after I learned it, I would internalize that question and to find the uniqueness of the story. He perhaps says, hey, he says, yes, you can write a book about it. Okay, then, you know, it probably might just sit on the shelves for a year or 2, and everybody will eventually forget about you, unless you are a celebrity. Perhaps then again, don't put too much into it. So, with those thoughts, Professor helped me to do some internal work. And then what is it about the era? Well, then what is it about the interracial relations? Well, then what is it about individuals that have had to learn a dual heritage? What is it about some of those that are fortunate to be either a part of one group, as our famous tribunal would say, one of kind? He had a very brave mom that stuck with me. And at times I would say, I'm only one. What does she have to play with? Would I also have a story for children? However, that was not the case. I always identify myself as a criminal in South Africa. I'm a South African criminal because I didn't grow up in this beautiful, diverse country which is rich in culture, rich in tradition, rich in creed. And most of the time when they ask me, where are you from? I have no answer. All I can just say, well, I am what you say I am. And if that is welcoming to you, well, thank you. And if I thought you may offend you, I would gladly take the meaning. But I am who you say I am. If you are anti-American as a talent, well, it makes you comfortable. At least it can be honest to you. But clearly, I cannot be Irish or whites or South African because I'm not from them. And on the other hand, I cannot be my mom's family or my mom's child. Because clearly, when I walk amongst them, it's very evident I'm not one of them. And the question is, who are you? Who am I? You know? So that has kind of lived with me for many years. I grew up in a government institution of our life. as a foster child from various foster homes, and eventually within the government institutions. In 1993, I came out of one of the institutions, and I've come to realize that whenever I mention it, the older folk, not the young ones, not the 2000s, but the older folk tend to cringe. And I come from reformation. And I say, reformation? You're wrong. Because reformatory is known as an institution for delinquent adolescents who have literally, seriously or beyond rehabilitation and need to be in a place to be reformed. It's individuals that have broken the law. And I said, well, the only law that he broke was to be born. I was just born. Because I didn't stab anybody, I didn't steal anything. But I do recall the day my parents, or my mom and my dad, were at the court and I watched as a judge hit the table and sentenced me to court. But the thing that I remember so clearly was the disposition of their faces. The two people looked at each other. My mom looked at my dad, and my dad looked at my mom. And then I realized I am a product of two individuals from various cultures, most of them. The reminder of who I am reminds each of them of what they've done. To my mom, put in the picture. To my dad, when he looks at me and sees my mom. To my mother, when she looks at me, time and time again, she reminds her of my father. So I grew up. In 1993, on 3rd of December, I was released from reformation and came out into society. And when I came out into society, the first thing that came to my mind was, I need to be self-sufficient. Because I don't have a father. I'm an adult. I don't have a husband. I'm a nuisance. I don't have a family that I can literally turn to and go to coming out of reformation. So with that being told, the spirit of life had never lived to me, and the spirit of light had never lived to me. Because the 1 week out of reformatory, I was employed at Disco. I was employed at Disco. I was employed at Disco. And I worked at Disco for 1 week during the December holidays. And the general manager there said, Belinda, there's a position coming up that's coming up in the shop. And we would like to offer you that position. And I said, this is strange because I started working here wiping shelves and picking from lotion in that section, packing up the shelves. What type of position would that be? I haven't done cashier, I haven't done receiving, I haven't done office work, and I don't have a machine. So how then would I make it to work in this position in HR? And he said, listen, I see potential, and I'm going to give potential a chance. I'm up to it. I said, yes, I am up to it. And that's how I started working and became self-sufficient at the age of 19, living on my own, paying my own rent. It was grateful. It did feel amazing to pay my own rent at 18. However, it kind of restricted me. I think the light of having to grow up in a government institution and perhaps abstinent from cultural and traditions, which allowed me and kept reminding me that you cannot just live loosely. You cannot just do as you will, because people will take you. You can't go and have babies. You can't be going to clubs. You can't just be loose as a young 19-year-old. You need to be responsible. Because who is going to look after you? Who will take care of you? Except yourself. So that kind of guarded me in that way. And I had a beautiful career in Rita. Until I got married, and I happened to be married in Angola. And when I got married in Angola, far away in the most deepest, into the deep, there was literally just a small red road, and on your left-hand side there was the tin shack, taxi rank, and then there was the new store just coming. Everybody identified me as the new lady that is working at this in Angola. worked at Discoms. I started working in 1994 in Discom, and I worked 94, 95, and then when Discom opened just before I got married to my husband, the general manager was quite correct saying we see potential, because by then I was able to manage the store as a store manager, as young as I was at the age of 20, 21. And managing a store where the people of Ngoma refused to speak to me in English. They refused to speak to me in English, and the only languages that I could speak was English and Afrikaans, because I was in Cape Town in Reformatory, and that was where we spoke Afrikaans, and I grew up speaking English. So it was there that I had to learn how to interact with the people of Ngoma, and I had to learn isiZulu. So I learned isiZulu at very late, the age of 21, 22 years old, started speaking Zulu. But one of the questions my late husband now had asked was, where are you from? And who's your family? And I said, well, my father's Crawford, Mr. Crawford, and my mom, we don't have a bond, or neither do we have a relation at all. I was introduced to my mother when I was 9 years old. And the introduced to my mom by one of my foster moms, was so abrupt, because as I did say in the beginning, thank you. As I did mention in the beginning, that we grew up in a community that was told that the blacks were really not people to either, when you see them, run. Black people are not people that you engage with, black people are not intelligent, black people are literally people of the slums. And here this day, one of my foster moms came home and she introduced me to my mother for the very first time. And I can't forget it, and I think I always shake about it, because I can't fathom how that must have sat with my mom to see me at 9 and my response was so cold. Because I was raised for 9 years knowing that the blacks were not people to engage with, and my foster mom didn't inform me that neither are you one of us. You don't belong here with us, I'm not your mother. And just abruptly one day after work, you decided to introduce me to a black woman. And my response to her was, Mom, we don't need a maid. And I think my mom's heart must have just sunk to her toes, because that was the coldest welcome of seeing her daughter that she had handed over when she was 2 years old. But what she didn't realize was that she was handing me over to a government institution, and what I would be taught by the time we do meet. So when I was told that she was my mom, it literally sent me on an identity crisis trajectory. Then really, who am I? If I'm not from these people, I'm not my father's people, and neither am my mom's people. Then really, who am I? And end up in a reformatory unjustly amongst people, or amongst young girls like myself, in this confined place away from society. We didn't see society at all. It was really far, far, far away. And everybody came from all over the country. All the young girls came from all over the country. There was not a reformatory in KwaZulu-Natal and one in Johannesburg. It was in Cape Town, and we all met there from all over the country. But there was something that I realized about the place, was there was no whites. There was no whites. There was no Indians. And there was no blacks. 350 colored girls, for colored girls only, from all over the country. And we'd ask each other, what is it that you did? Why are you here? Who sent you here? And I would listen to their stories, and most of their stories would be domestic issues in terms of social welfare, in terms of lack of parenting, but at least they had someone, my aunt, my gran, my mom, my dad, my father's people. And whenever they would ask me the question, I would just walk away and not answer, because I didn't have an answer for them. So it was a constant reminder of who I was. But here I am, coming out of reformatory, and I always ask, but why? I always ask God, why? What is the purpose of me going there? What was the benefit of me going there? And at first I didn't
found it to be a strange place because I finally got some sort of stability in my life of moving from home to home to home to home to home. So I found reformatory to be a very comforting place. It's a comforting place, while others, some young girls would literally commit suicide in being there. Other young girls would run away and never want to come back in being there. But I found a place as reformatory, the most comforting place to be. Because for me, at least,